Hey YouTube, Petey Two Finger here. So I've been busy. I haven't been working on the electronics so much as computers. So what happened, my younger brother stopped by with a carload full of tower PCs and a laptop. Connie is a friend of mine who will call me from time to time and say, hey, I've got these electronics. Why don't you come and pick up this stuff we don't want anymore? Today we got half a dozen digital cameras and a color printer, an HP 6520, which is it's a nice printer. It has ink in it, all the colored ink, so that was great. The multiple tower computers from my younger brother, most of them needed to have the thermal paste uh, replaced. Like you would plug the computer and hit the power button and really nothing would happen. And then we replaced the thermal paste and then the computer works fine. So we did that on the video cards. There was an expensive video card in the one, $300 video card, which to me is expensive. I know you probably spend that in a week on coffee, but I'm operating on a 1960 budget here. So yeah, I've been busy. Father's Day, I had was received some generous gifts, and then through my younger brother had dropped off. I mean, talk about generous. We got a Dell laptop. It had 8 gig of RAM and a 1 terabyte hard drive in it. I forget the processor, if it's a quad core AMD. It's a nice laptop. You know, it's a 2013 laptop, which the one we had was a 2008 laptop. And we don't game. My wife uses a laptop to go on Facebook and to surf the internet and email and stay in touch with her relatives. She likes, Donna, what do you do mostly? You go on the cat forum a lot. There's a lot of
cat pages
pictures of cats. Yeah, the Chantilly cats are the long-haired black cat that are real beautiful. There's some fan pages for those. I go there too. We have one, and it's weird because they all of these photos of these things, they all look like ours. Like it's like a Facebook fan page, and it's like, look at these pictures of my cat, but they all look a lot like ours. Mr. Mobitas Kita. So yeah, rethermaling the video card, and the one was, man, it was a smoking like $300 video card. The laptop we were locked out of, and I contacted the guy and begged him for the password. On Windows 10 you can't factory reset unless you're in on your password, which it used to not be like that, which I think it's I like it better the old way, when you don't need your password to factory reset. Anyway, I got these generous gifts. We received a solid state hard drive, and I have one. We have one solid state hard drive in this house. That's a 120 gig, and then we got another 120 gig. And there's this idea, I've never tried it. It's been a goal of mine, an imaginary goal, like one day, if I get lucky enough to have 3 solid state drives, because they're not cheap. They're a lot more expensive than a mechanical hard drive. So the idea is this: you have your first solid state hard drive, has your Windows operating system on it, and then your video editing software. In my case, Sony Vegas. Your second drive, you put the files that you filmed, the stuff you're going to edit. And then the third drive, all 3 of them have to be solid state. The third solid state hard drive is what you render the video to. And that way, each hard drive is only going like one way with the data. It's not double dipping, is one way to put it. I hate that. double dipping. Our daughter had some report card rewards. It was a promotion done at the local video store, Family Video, and we used to bring those in and get the rewards. It was cool. She could get free video game rental, free movie rental, something like that. One free thing for every A is what it was. And we went in there and she picked out what she wanted. We used to do this every year. It would be like when the reports card comes, my kids were happy because they had their own DVD, their own video game system in their room, and they got straight A's. So it was like yeah, I get looking forward to the report card, not like me where I was dreading it. So we went in there and it was always fine. We were able to get whatever we wanted. I was never involved in it. I would go and get a horror movie, and my wife would be with the kids, and they would get whatever Powerpuff Girl thing, Usually multiple things. So this one day we go, there's a new employee. It's a short, fat, butch haircut woman with glasses with like a thing coming down around her neck, like a librarian. And she was like, no, that would be double dipping. And ever since, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me, lady? What?
I'm just laughing at what you said.
Is there a funny cat video, or is it me?
It's you.
I get real self-conscious. So, yeah, I was like, we've never had a problem. We've been doing this for years, a double dipping. And like the kid works hard, like whatever your stupid fucking thing is, it's not double dipping. Anyway, that's why I don't like that word. So what it comes down to is I bought myself another solid state hard drive. They're a lot cheaper now than they used to be. The thing is we really went down on the size. I'm used to a 2 terabyte C drive. I got a 1 terabyte now. So I've been moving. I had a bunch of 500 gig drives, and then a 2 terabyte drive and a 1 terabyte drive in this machine. The 1 terabyte drive we just found. I just got that 2 weeks ago at a Goodwill there was a pair of them, and one of them was smoked inside a backup, Seagate backup box. So, yeah, we gutted 2 computers. We fixed one and then gutted that and moved it into another one. We had bad caps, and I had ordered all the caps, and they came in, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to do this video. I probably still will, just so you guys can see, it might be interesting for you to see that, how you repair a motherboard when they fail. Like the mouse stopped, it was still working, but the mouse didn't work, and it's bad caps, they're puffed out. So all of it kind of came together. The slow boat from China. The shipping is really bad now in China. I order a lot of stuff, like 99-cent stuff, and a lot of it's not showing up, and what is very late. So I was kind of getting it ready to, one of these days I'm going to shoot that video, and then my brother showed up, and so I have just been, I call it computer hell, and that's when you're moving files around on hard drives, formatting hard drives, installing Windows, taking the PC out, setting it up on a TV tray, blowing it out with compressed air, cleaning the thermal. It's just stuff that you have to do when you upgrade. And this was just a massive upgrade because there was 4 towers I had to go through and then integrated with our stuff, and then there was this laptop where I had to I ended up just wiping all of the recovery partitions off of, there was a bunch of partitions on there. That's all deleted, and it's just one partition with Windows 10 installed on it. So the long and the short of it is, I upgraded to Windows 10 because all of our computers were Windows 7. So I've installed Windows 10 like 4 or 5 times now, and there's more compute. There is right now in this one room at last count 9 computers. Okay, and I know that's ridiculous. I know it's too many. We got to get rid of some, you know, these older like AMD dual core, you know, with 4 gigs of RAM or 2 gigs of RAM, you know, 3 gig of RAM, that type of thing. So that's what's been going on. And through that process, you know, Windows 10, not everything is compatible. Thank goodness that I was able to get my Adobe Audition. That's my precious DAW. Now, I do use Reaper, but I can't boogie in it. Reaper sucks. I really don't. I'm going to try PreSonus Studio One. That's going to be something coming up. We're going to see, can I convert and just have 64-bit and ditch the Audition. But I don't think I ever will. I think what I will be doing is editing with the 32-bit, but doing all my recording and all that. So I don't even know how that works. I know that you can tell a newer software what your favorite audio editor is, and I always do that. It's Audition, and then you drop that exe file in there and say, because you'll go into the preferences and settings in something like Sony Vegas or what's the other one, Reaper, and then so when you go to edit something, it actually opens up Audition and puts the file in there. It's kind of a time-consuming process because it has to open the other software and then load the file. So using these solid-state drives is going to be, it's going to speed things up considerably. So going through all that, I was really concerned. Some people reported that they could not get the Adobe Audition. 3.01 is what I like to use. That's the version number that I'm on. A lot of people had reported that it was like a crapshoot, like half and half. You might be able to get it to work. Well, it worked. And then installing my VST plugins, I'm trying to go with a stripped down thing where I don't have so much. Although I installed like about 2,000 fonts today, which might have been a mistake. I think maybe you need to look at them before you just blindly install. It's probably a lot of foofy Valentine Christmas fonts that I'm never going to use. Anyway, everything's working. My precious Isotope Ozone version 5. I don't like any of the new Ozone stuff. I like version 5. That's the one for mastering. That's why my stuff sounds like it does, is because of that software. What I am excited about, my Sound Toys didn't work. I had this Sound Toys package. It had the decapitator, the crystallizer, the Echo Boy filter. What's their filter called? Is it Filter Boy? Anyway, I really loved those effects and I used them. They weren't working, and I was able to get a version 5. I had version 4 installed, and I installed version 5, and it's awesome. There's a bunch of more stuff. There's a whole rack where you can build effects by throwing these rack mounts together and use multiple effects. It's way cooler than version 4. Now, is the sound quality up to par? We have to see. I don't know. But I'm at the point where I've got, oh, jeez, some naked woman.
She wasn't naked.
Well, yeah, I'm naked enough. Okay, I've got uTorrent, Adobe Audition, Bleach Bit, Photosizer, Foxit Reader, GadWin Print Screen, which, man, I use that a lot. Airframe View 64, I use that a lot too. Logitech webcam software, that's what I'm using right now. Paint.net, I use that a lot. Revo Uninstaller Pro, highly recommended software. I never uninstall stuff with Windows anymore. Shade Sandbox Home Edition, which is, I don't know if I really like using Sandbox for keygens and shit like that. But we got the old Skype, VLC media player, and WIN10. If you've never used WIN10, it's a free VPN that allows you to torrent. You heard me right. You get 10 gigs a month, which is enough to scrape by if you're merely torrenting, whereas, or game here and there. WIN10 has worked for me, so that's how I get by without selling my children or getting nasty letters or being imprisoned by my ISP. So that's what's been going on. Computer hell, Windows 10. What can I say? I buy stuff. I use my computer to shop a lot. I'm on eBay all the time, 99-cent thing to China, all these bag of 100 resistor, 10K resistors, stuff like that. And when Windows 7 went out of support, it just seems like I'm more of a target for some kind of weird, So I'm going to be a new learning experience. I'm going to be installing like pretty much. I've got some VSTi stuff to install, my 64-bit, because I run a 32-bit plug-in folder and then a 64. And I put my VSTi, all my weird synths and stuff will pretty much be in the 64-bit realm. And then, I would really love to get a stable version of Zebra. That's such a cool synth. I really like Zebra. Get that Isotope Iris 2. Not really that impressed with it. It's a cool idea, and you can get some weird sounds out of it, but I'm not going to go nuts and install everything that HD Fortune ever wrote. Like I've done that in the past. Putting too much stuff in there isn't really helpful. And actually, as a matter of fact, if you go hog wild in Audition, it won't work. Once you get past like you're filling up like a row and a half of VSTs, the isotope ozone disappears. It just goes away. So it's going to be kind of a learning experience adapting over to this. I'm really excited to try some video editing. I've moved everything around. We got another 1 terabyte external hard drive that I connected to the machine and just filled it up right off the bat with old pictures and videos, and then applications folder where I keep copies of all the software I use and a lot of unnecessary stuff. So I've got that stuff in triplicate. I've got it on this hard drive here. I got it on that hard drive there. So it's been a huge job moving everything around. That's what I've been doing. I'm really excited about this install, switching over to 10. I know people seem to react negatively to 10, but if everything works, and I've noticed some really cool stuff, like transferring multiple files and it telling you all these specs that you didn't get to see before, being able to pause file transfers, having a bar graph to tell you how fast it goes. It's all really cool stuff that I use. So I'm not so much like, it's, I know there's articles you can look up where you can go in here and turn off a bunch of spyware stuff that Windows has implemented. And I think that if they are going to sell you down the river as far as your personal info, they need to kind of goose you and give you some, here's a little bit to make it not as painless. You get to pause file transfers now. So this has been just wonderful. My hand is still numb, so what a better time to go through computer hell. It seems like it's always like Christmas or right when I'm doing a bunch of editing, something will happen and I'll have to go through this computer hell like I call it. But I'm going to make another video real quick. This company, Delic, I'm thrilled they sent me a PCB and they didn't charge me for it. So we're going to talk about that next. I just wanted to let you guys know what's been going on. I'm going to be getting back to the music. I need to finish this amplifier project, which, you know, it's going to happen. It's going to happen, and we're gonna try to film more of that process. You know, when I have the circuits working, and I know that they're sounding good, we're gonna film the process of putting the amp together, drilling it out, and mounting everything. And there's the spring reverb. There's a tank and a driver circuit, and it's functioning. It sounds really good. It's called a ruthenium spring reverb. Now, I had purchased some PCBs that were terrible. You need to build the Vero version of that. So I had already complained about all that. I got another story to tell you about Jet's Pizza, where they really screwed the pooch. So that's a good one. So there's going to be a couple more videos. I'll see you guys soon, and peace.